Hello Virgo, welcome to your reading from that's going to cover 31st of August through to the 6th of September 2026. It's going to be a pretty general reading. Okay, so let's welcome in the archangels, ascended masters, light beings, spirit guides, our higher selves, any animal, ancestral or dragon guides that you feel resonant with, Virgo. Okay, let's have a look. Seven of Swords and Temperance. Nine of Wands. Queen of Cups. Seven of Swords and Temperance. I think you could be going through a little bit of a process at the moment, Virgo, with regard to maybe you're looking at some beliefs and values, or maybe you're looking at some personal values that could be undergoing change for you. The Temperance talks about doing things in a new way or blending things in a new way. So maybe this is, talking about that interface between looking at what's important for you personally and then what is actually happening in your life. Okay, so maybe there's there's those two things, I think, coming together here. The sevens also talk about introspection. So I think you could be doing some deep self-reflection at this time as well on those themes of looking at your values and beliefs. But you could also be feeling quite creative and inspired as well. But we do have the Nine of Wands here and the Queen of Cups. So I think maybe there's something about life for you at the moment, Virgo, where there could be something about the way that you're working here that's either something's wrapping up, or you've put a lot of effort and a lot of elbow grease, shall we say, into a lot of hard work into something, right? And this could be how or this could be tied into the values that you are rethinking and evaluating. Could be around how you are working, and maybe you're wondering here, Queen of Cups, you're going within and wondering, is this Nine of Wands energy being in that, is that supportive of your, or how is it supporting your emotional self, your spiritual and creative self? These two energies, it could be that maybe you're finding you need to be in this Nine of Wands energy a lot, like if everything's a lot of hard work. But there's this other energy coming through here, and maybe you're picking up on this soul energy at the moment, and you're kind of going through a bit of a reevaluation process with, it could be with regard to your lifestyle, just generally, what you're doing on a daily, weekly basis. And maybe you are thinking, or maybe recently you've just thought along the lines of you'd like to change some of that. Okay. Six of Cups and Four of Wands. Yeah. And along with this, there could be, if you've had to basically have your nose to the grindstone, you're dealing with challenges, you're working really hard. Maybe there hasn't been space for your inner child so much, or maybe there has been a bit of space for you to just play and be in a light frequency, or a higher frequency. Six of Cups, Four of Wands is exactly that. It's like activating your inner child, being in a higher frequency, lightening the mood, and this is sort of the general theme, sort of underlying. You may feel a need to lighten the mood or to lift the frequency, okay? And this is sort of, I think, part of this reevaluation process of, it could be a lifestyle reevaluation you're looking at here. And you have the Seven of Pentacles, another seven. You are, reevaluating. You're looking at what has worked, how hard you have worked, what do you have, what have you achieved in terms of what's been the payoff, what have you acquired, and how is your health and well-being as well, okay? The earth element talks about that as well. So how's your health and well-being? You're probably looking at that under the radar as well. And here we have the Seven of Cups, so two sevens. Definitely looking within, I think, Virgo, you're kind of really examining I guess, your creative self, your spiritual self, your emotional self, your physical self, okay? And also how you are thinking and feeling about things and what your values are. Okay, there are 3 sevens here in the first 8 cards, so that's interesting. Sevens are very introspective, very spiritual numbers. It's almost like the next level or the next phase, because the 5s are kind of going through the challenges, and I think you've overcome a lot of challenges and obstacles already, Virgo. You probably have experienced some degree also of the 6s, which is like the contentment and the harmony and things being okay, right? But the 7s is like calling. It's like when the soul starts to call you to the deeper level, to higher levels of fulfillment, peace, harmony, and balance in your life, okay? I mean, we could dwell primarily in the 5s and 6s for most of our lives, but sometimes it's kind of when we hit 30s, 40s, even 40s and 50s, the 7s and the 8s sort of start to come forward a little more, to really kind of, I guess, allow you to step into the next phases of your evolution. Queen of Cups and the Sun. Yeah. Did we say raising the frequency? And that's exactly what's happening here in your outcome, Virgo, which is really nice. Queen of Cups, yeah, you're going within twice in your reading, Queen of Cups. This is you taking some you time, okay, Virgo? Really being with your higher self, with your soul. This is also water of water, because the queens represent the water element. But Queen of Cups is water of water. So this is really asking you to go with the flow, to go into your spirit connection, to go into your something creative that you do that helps you to be in flow, right? Because this is going to be, boom, really great for your confidence, the sun. A really happy, high frequency energy, right? And this could also be, I think we have some eclipses coming up, so maybe during those times, if you start to feel a little bit icky, or if sort of the 9 of Wands energy starts to get a bit much, just kind of, call to mind the Queen of Cups and basically create a mantra for yourself around this idea of flow, okay? Creative flow, spiritual flow, tuning in to your soul as well. Sun, beautiful, and I really like this because we've just said here, 6 of Cups, 4 of Wands. Really beautiful energies. It can be a little bit nostalgic too, but maybe there's something in your childhood or something that you loved to do as a child that you're going to be revisiting, okay? This is also a very inner childlike energy coming forward. And I think, as we evolve as humans, I think if, for those of us who have, really repressed the inner child, that happy, joyous inner child, it's really going to start to push forward now for recognition and for us to acknowledge that aspect of ourselves. This is a really great high frequency outcome for you, Virgo. Just really awesome. You also have the Fool and the 5 of Wands. So yeah, this is like a journey, okay? And as with any journey, a soul journey or whatever it is, a journey of self-discovery, a journey of moving into your high frequency version of yourself, there's always going to be challenges and learnings and lessons, and this is the 5 of Wands here. But this is transformational because it's the element of fire. So it's transformation of the soul via learning, via experience, via bouncing off of others, also via, going within. Queen of Cups twice, very meditative energy, but it's a part of a new journey for you here, Virgo. Part of your inner, this could be talking about an inner journey. Okay, spirit guidance from the dragons. We have the 4 of Pentacles, Hierophant, and the 2 of Cups. Beautiful. 2 of Cups is, yes, you, Virgo, coming into a greater degree or greater level of intimacy with yourself, with your higher self. Your everyday self and your inner child coming together, your everyday self and your higher self. A greater level of commitment, understanding, compassion for yourself, self-love, self-care, all that stuff. 4 of Pentacles, this is also for you, Virgo, to look after your energy, to be grateful for what you do have, Four of Pentacles, cover the basics. This might be a phase, maybe it might just be the next week or so, where you might be shifting your focus from creating wealth and, acquiring assets and things like that. If that has been a lot of your focus recently, maybe you're going to be shifting into just being in gratitude, just being in, self-care, just being in this beautiful high frequency, absorbing the beautiful spiritual energies. And you're probably going to be feeling that. You've got Queen of Cups twice in your reading here. You've got all these sevens. So it's kind of like you're going to be feeling introspective, but I think very at peace as well, okay? Happy. And here we have the Hierophant. This is a nice earth energy as well, but the idea of you being your own personal intermediary between your physical experience of life and your spiritual connection, your high frequency connections, your galactic connections, your galactic humanness, okay, could almost be encapsulated in the Hierophant card. But this is also about commitment. So it could be about committing to yourself, committing to your soul, committing to this idea that moving forward you will be making your soul energy perhaps something that you acknowledge more frequently. Okay, if you haven't been already, maybe there's going to be a daily spiritual practice that you start implementing. And it could be around gratitude. The simple gratitude practice of calling to mind maybe 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for, or writing them down, or something like that. I'm not saying that you're ungrateful, Virgo, but it's just that if you are moving into more of a spiritual space, you may even like to create some little mantras for yourself and tie that in with your breathing rhythm. Just even focusing on words like, love, peace, harmony, balance, that type of thing. But you're definitely reevaluating. You're very introspective at this time, I think. The Tower, yeah, insight. Okay, coming down to earth. Maybe the Tower can talk about a reality check, but it might also be that this is what you're going through here with regard to this Knight of Wands. Maybe you're looking at this energy very closely, which is hard work, nose to the grindstone. And maybe if the after effects of this, on a weekly, monthly basis, kind of leave you feeling energetically drained, maybe it's simply a matter of you now looking at what are those things that you're going to bring in to fill your cup up. Because this energy is kind of like the cup's almost empty in terms of energy and inspiration and vitality, okay? Even though you are determined and very capable, Virgo, right? It's really, I think this whole idea of temperance, of moderation, of bringing things into a better balance, okay? And the Chariot, yeah, you're preparing, I think, you're preparing for an energetic upgrade. And whenever the Sun appears, I always think that, there's going to be an energetic upgrade coming, given that it's in your outcome, okay? And I think you're preparing. I think you intuitively know, Virgo, that to meet this upgrade and to receive the energy and to be able to do that, you are going through a process of preparation, attuning your mind, body, and spirit to that connection with your soul, your higher self, and the expanded version of you, not just the limited 3-dimensional version of you, okay? The expanded version includes the 3rd-dimensional version of you, okay? So that's what we're looking at. And yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. This is that Jupiter expansion energy. We're just talking about expanded consciousness. Wheel of Fortune, expanding your horizons, expanding your values and beliefs to include things that maybe you didn't include before. That could be something that's happening for you as well. Really nice. And also the Wheel of Fortune talks about a cycle. So maybe if there was an old way of doing things, I think you're going to be creating here. Temperance is also fire, very creative, recreating even yourself, recreating your lifestyle, recreating a lot of things about your life, okay? Or blending them in a new way, whichever appeals to you. Emperor, yes. coming into the, I guess, recognition that you are a sovereign being, okay, Virgo, that you have the ability to be the author and the creator of your own life, and that you can, through this introspective process and through connection with your soul, the high frequency version of you, create, blend things in a new way and really create the life that you are looking for, okay? And going on a journey, hence the Fool, going on the journey for that process to happen, okay? The journey of, recreation. Queen of Pentacles, beautiful. Yeah, nurturing, looking after yourself. We did say self-care, and I think this is a nice, Queen of Pentacles is a nice energy to soften this Nine of Wands for you, because I feel as though the Queen of Cups appeared twice to kind of, put some balm or put some, softness over this Nine of Wands here, that you are really looking at closely, the Nine of Wands. You're looking at this energy pretty closely. And the Queen of Pentacles is another beautiful feminine energy that's coming in to help you. Earth and water are very feminine elements. So this idea of being receptive, supportive of yourself and nurturing yourself, giving yourself good hydration, good nutrition, nice environments, activities and things that, lift your frequency here. This is one of the underlying themes, okay? Lifting your frequency, also with the sun. And yeah, let's look at the bottom of this deck here. Wow. And you're being called. You're being called to do this. Virgo. This is the judgment, awakening, or the call. And I really love this image. It's like the third dimensional kind of, the more dense, solid matter image. And here we have the, the ephemeral spirit, higher frequency energy of the being, like almost like the soul or the spiritual aspect, okay? But, yeah, just awesome. So I think that's part of what you are. The Wheel of Fortune kind of says it all for me here at the moment, Virgo. You're literally expanding. Your world's expanding, okay? Your world's expanding and you're creating your new reality as you go, which is really fantastic. There we have it. I think we might wrap it up there. I hope that has been helpful. I look forward to your next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, a fantastic week, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.